Mayor and Board of Aldermen for Tuesday, March 21st. Keisha Howell-Atkinson is attending via phone. She is at a track meet, and she's the coach. So she is with us by phone until that starts. I have a few changes to the agenda. If you would go to number 12 on your agenda and change that to FY 2023, it reads 2024. Just a typo, if you'll change that to 2023. We have an addition at 10A, and Ashley, I'm gonna let you explain that. You will do better than I at that.
Okay. That is going to be the Metro Interlocal. Back in January when the university approved theirs, they made 3 very minor changes. They removed 2 names, changed a paragraph format, and moved a signature line. Pope and I discussed it, and it was just a very minor thing, so we're going to add that. If y'all approve it, every other entity has approved it so far.
You know, we've approved it, the county approved it, and then it takes IHL 6 months to approve it. So there you go. They've sent it back with the changes.
The version that is attached to board pack is the version that the university approved with those 3 minor changes.
Okay, so that'll be at 10A. At 6B16, if you will add a promotion and development services. And at 6D12, if you will add a travel request, that you have the form in front of you. Those are the only changes I have. Is that it for you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. Could we have a motion to adopt the agenda?
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? A quick mayor's report. If you noticed as you came in, the Pocket Park adjacent to City Hall is very close to being finished, and we are super excited about that. Now, if we can get some warm weather and get some colorful flowers out there, we'll be ready to roll. But we have taken down the barriers, and so you can walk through the park now. The sculpture was put in today. The water fountain, although we haven't turned it on yet, is installed and ready to go. We are gearing up for a busy April. You'll notice landscaping projects all around town. As I mentioned at our last meeting, we're about to have a spring football season. We've got Red Blue Weekend. The next weekend is 2 Morgan Wallen concerts in the LSU baseball series. The next weekend is Double Decker in the Georgia baseball series. And then we have back-to-back Ole Miss graduations. So that is wonderful if you are in charge of running a small business. That is a nightmare if you're in charge of picking up trash and public safety. So here we go. But we've got a crew that is expert at all of those things, and we're excited. The state legislative session is winding down, and so hopefully in the coming 2 weeks, we will have an idea about funding and about final bill passage on several things that we've been watching that I've mentioned. I am traveling to DC tomorrow. I am going at the invitation of the president for a ceremony at the White House on Thursday, celebrating the anniversary of the enactment of the Affordable Cares Act. And so that is what the travel request is that was added to the agenda tonight. With that, I'll ask you to authorize the approval of the minutes of the regular meeting on March 7th, 2023.
I so move. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ask you to authorize the approval of accounts for all city departments.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ask you to consider the consent agenda.
Motion to consider consent agenda.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, we've got a very fun proclamation to present tonight, and I am going to let Kelly Briscoe introduce our guest, and then I will read this proclamation and ask for your approval.
So this is Lauren Barron. She is Miss Domain 2023. And she will be participating in the Miss Mississippi pageant in early June, and her platform is Heal a Heart with a Bark, and she is bringing awareness for emotional support animals through shelters. So
Wonderful.
She is hosting an adoption event for us.
Great. Well, we appreciate you being with us tonight. We have a proclamation to recognize April 12th, 2023 as Heal a Heart with a Bark Adoption Day. Whereas National Adopt a Shelter Pet Friday is observed in April, and whereas more than 6 million pets end up homeless every year in the United States, and whereas in the city of Oxford, there are more than 750 pets that enter the Oxford Animal Resource Center each year, And whereas animal shelter employees in our community work tirelessly to help homeless pets, and whereas pets make life better by giving people love, companionship, and comfort, reducing anxiety and depression, getting us outside for exercise, and helping us build strong social connections. And whereas Oxford resident and Oxford Animal Resource Center volunteer Lauren Barron will work to bring statewide attention to the needs of shelter pets via her platform, Heal a Heart with a Bark, at the Miss Mississippi pageant. Therefore, be it resolved on behalf of the citizens of the City of Oxford that this 12th day of April 2023 is hereby recognized and celebrated in Oxford as Heal a Heart with a Bark Adoption Day. Be it further resolved that a copy of this resolution be spread upon the minutes of the City of Oxford. And so I'll ask for a motion to adopt that proclamation.
So moved. Second.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? So Lauren, thank you for being here tonight. And we wish you much luck in your pageant.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right, now we will have our annual update from our Affordable Housing Commission. For those of you in the audience who are wondering what an Affordable Housing Commission is, we as a board have placed that at the top of our priority list as a continued effort, and we have very generous citizens who give of their time and heart and energy to serve on this commission. And so Donna Zampella is with us tonight to start this presentation, and I know we have other commission members in the audience, so I'll turn it over to you, Donna.
Thank you, and I was very honored to be asked to serve on the Affordable Housing Commission Board, and so I will be presenting the annual review for our 2022 year. The City of Oxford formed the Affordable Housing Commission on June 15th of 2021. The commission began to deliberately address the affordable housing challenges in Oxford and demonstrated a serious commitment to serving persons of all income levels in the city. The first commission meeting was held on February 16th, 2022, which is made up of 11 volunteers from our community with a vision to improve the affordable housing in our community and began to put their vision into action. The commissioners are Stuart Rutledge, who's the chair, Brooke Worthy, who's the co-chair, Tisha Sanders, she's from the Oxford Housing Authority, Laura Martin from McLean Institute, Marilyn Barnes is the director of ABID and the gifted coordinator at Oxford School District, Alonzo Hilliard's a leader of the local Black Community Investment, Lance Higman from the Cadence Bank, Josh Sissel is property manager, and Dr. Janice Antonell was former alderman. 2 ex officio commissioners was appointed, Duncan Gray from the Oxford School District and myself from Oxford University Transit. The city liaisons, Robert Baxter, who is the senior city planner, Ben Request is the city planner, and Judy Daniel is the city planner emeritus. We had 6 regular meetings in the year of 2022, 9 absences, and we had very good response to each of our meetings. A lot of public people were also present. The commission has 3 goals that they are focusing on: the Affordable Housing Trust Fund, the Affordable Housing Ordinance incentives, and the community outreach engagement. The commission agreed to have 2 standing subcommittees for the trust fund and the annual report, and 2 ad hoc subcommittees for our chosen goals of the ordinance review and the community engagement. Duncan Gray is the chair for the Affordable Housing Trust Fund subcommittee, which has met many times and have worked diligently. The subcommittee has identified some procedural methods for the fund, which will very likely balance the varied competing interests related to a city fund. The proposed plan will be presented to the board once it is completed. Dr. Janice Antonell is the chair for the ordinance review. The affordable housing incentives are in their first edition, and the ordinance review subcommittee has sought a great deal of advice to create a draft revision which will be presented to the board in the next few weeks. The committee met this past Wednesday. I was out of the office last week, and so they made a couple of other revisions, and so I wanted to make sure y'all had a copy of the current one that I got yesterday, so I'm sorry it was not in your packet. Laura Martin is the chair of the Community Engagement Subcommittee, which produced and distributed a housing resource guide, which contains a list of all the available resources for people in housing crisis. It includes a compilation of the available a compilation of all local service organizations with contact information. Underserved people are often the least able to find access to these resources and which are available to them. So this clear publication can be a great help to give those in need a place to start and the phone number to call. So those were distributed out into the community back in the fall. The Affordable Housing Committee meets on the third Wednesday of every month, with the next meeting being April 19th of 2023 from 11 to 12 here at the City Hall, and it is open to the public. The Affordable Housing Commission will continue working on the current goals in place as we address the affordable housing needs in the city and the county of Lafayette.
Well, we cannot thank you enough for all of the hard work. I was a part of the city's ordinance review committee and meeting a few weeks ago, and Dr. Antonell was kind enough to join us and go through these ordinance proposed changes, and I think they are all help us move in a positive direction. We knew when we wrote these that it was just a first stab at an affordable housing ordinance, and we want it to be something that is realistic enough that folks can genuinely benefit from utilizing this and that it will spur on affordable housing developments. And so thank you to the commission and to Dr. Antonell for helping us form those, and you will be getting those as proposed changes in the coming weeks. The housing resource guide, Laura, is great. It really is. I'm so impressed with all the information you were able to compile into one resource guide, and we have distributed it to people who have called us with questions. So we have found it to be very beneficial for us. Instead of us pulling together, you know, it just depends on who you get on the phone, which resources we're aware of to pass those along. And so that has been something that's been useful for all of us as well. So thank you very much. Thank you all for being here. There's no action by the board tonight, but we certainly appreciate all of the hard work and time that you're expending on this very important topic. So thank y'all.
Thank you.
Thank you, Donna.
Thank you.
All right, Amberlyn, request permission to accept a $20,000 grant from Keep America Beautiful for cigarette litter prevention.
Yes, ma'am.
Who's gonna say no to that?
Motion made. Second.
All in favor? Any opposed? Thank you. Chief McCutcheon, request permission to sign a service agreement with RevCorp.
Yes, ma'am, this is...
Janice, you don't want to stay?
This is a program we've used for years. It's just a re-up that we've got to do for... So moved. Yeah.
All in favor? Any opposed? Ashley has explained the very minor changes to the interlocal agreement for Metro Narcotics.
Second.
All in favor? Any opposed? Request permission to approve a modification in the 2022 Homeland Security Grant to reallocate funding. Chief?
Yes, ma'am, no match grant. There was a piece of that grant we could not use, so we're just going to request to use it in another line item.
So moved.
Great.
Second.
All in favor? Any opposed? Request permission to apply for the Mississippi Department of Public Safety Office of Homeland Security FY 2023 Homeland Security Grant.
Again, no match grant. We're going to get some equipment, some training resources, and hopefully...
All in favor? Any opposed? Thank
Like
you. Chief Gardner, I didn't see you on the front row. You're never on the front row. I didn't spot you. Request permission for 3 employees to attend the 2023 Fire Chiefs Firefighter Conference in Natchez, Mississippi on June 1st through the 4th at an estimated cost of $5,749.20.
Motion made. Second.
All in favor? Any opposed? Second reading and public hearing for proposed ordinance amending Chapter 38, Section 38 through 60 to change final fire inspection fees.
Yes, ma'am, we're back again asking for the inspection fees to increase from $50 It'll double on the, if we go back. The hood suppression system, alarm system, sprinkler system, and elevator fee will increase to $100. It's currently $50, and they will also increase if we have to go back.
All right, so we discussed this at our last board meeting. This is also a public hearing for this proposed ordinance change. Is there anyone in the audience who would like to speak to this proposed ordinance change? All right, hearing none, does the board wish to vote tonight, or do you want to wait 2 weeks?
Second.
All right, all in favor? Any opposed? Thank you. Request permission to apply for the Mississippi Department of Public Safety Office of Homeland Security FY 2024 Homeland Security Grant in the amount of, is that supposed to be 2024 instead of 23?
2023/24, maybe, I'm not sure.
Well, I just did say 2023/2024.
Maybe so.
Homeland Security Grant in the amount of $65,000 with no match required.
Second.
All in favor? That's right. Any opposed? All right. Mr. Fortner, second reading and public hearing for proposed ordinance amending Chapter 102, Article 17, stopping, standing, parking restricted or prohibited on certain streets, Section 102-550, penalties to add $1 assessment to parking fines.
Yes, ma'am. So this is adding the dollar, like you said, to the park fines. This will be our second reading on that.
This is a second reading and a public hearing. Is there anyone present who would like to speak to this change in ordinance? All right, thought Hollis was raising his hand, just scratching his nose. All right, carry on. We have no public.
I'll make a motion.
All right, thank you.
Second.
All in favor? Any opposed? Thank you, sir. Request permission to accept an FY 23 EMSOF grant award in the amount of $16,911.
Yes, ma'am. This is the Emergency Services Operating Fund through the State Health Department. We applied for that and were awarded the amount funded, $16,911.
Move we accept. Second.
All in favor? Any opposed? Great, thank you, and we appreciate you continuing to seek out grant funding opportunities. Request permission to apply for a Kubota grant for the proposed Holly Jolly Holidays at M-Trade Park.
Yes, ma'am. This is a partnership through Visit Oxford and M-Trade Park and myself. It's for $100,000, no match, and it'll be used to, if awarded, to go towards the Holly Jolly and making the necessary improvements.
Move we give it a shot. Second.
All in favor? Any opposed? All right, thank you, sir. Second reading and public hearing of an ordinance to modify the Historic Preservation Ordinance, Section 54-26-4B and Section 54-29, and a change to the administration section of the Oxford Design Guidelines. Kate?
Okay, so this is our second reading and public hearing for two minor changes to the ordinance. The first being a change to our noticing requirements about notifying applicants by mail of hearings, and the second to put in place a time limit on appeal of 14 days for an appeal of the commission's decision to the Mayor and Board of Aldermen. And since the first reading, there have been no changes and we have not received any public comment.
All right, does anyone have any questions about those changes?
Public hearing.
This is a public hearing. If there's anyone in the audience who would like to speak to the changes in ordinance proposed.
It's Ben speaking up.
All right, no, it's Hollis again.
Okay.
Troublemaker. All right.
Motion to approve. Second.
All in favor? Any opposed? Thank you very much. Consider quotes received for preventative maintenance for all generators on city buildings. Rob?
Good evening. So this item came up a couple months back. We've got a number of generators within the city. I think the number totals around 19 generators. And so to do maintenance, annual and quarterly maintenance, it's over $5,000. We had to go out for 2 quotes on this project. And some of these belong to maybe departments that don't have it in their budget this year. So we wanted to bring it to you to consider. It's something that needs to be done. And the cost for the entire city generator fleet looks like it's around $24,000. And I guess the bottom price there includes the annual as well. Total price for Thompson is $30,000. For Taylor, it was $45,000. So it's substantial savings for Thompson Caterpillar.
$30,000 and
45.
45 is the Taylor quote, and so that's the high quote we're not going to take.
Right.
The 30.
So 30,000, but how often will this have to be done? Annually?
So, yes, so this is the total price for the year. This will be quarterly, this includes quarterly visits for each generator and an annual visit that includes oil changes and a more detailed
And we had
annual
just
visit.
previously not been doing that?
Well, we had, I think this went out to bid a couple of years ago or 3 years ago, but it hadn't been done since. And so I think probably sporadically.
Okay.
Some departments may have been doing it
So it's a new
themselves.
expense, though, is my point. The other departments had not been budgeting for it.
Some of them were
Yeah.
back, yeah.
I'm just not sure that others are this year. I'm not positive.
Jimmy was doing some.
That's right, probably. All right, then, do I have a motion to accept the low bid at $30,000?
So moved.
Second.
And I was just wanted to add, we would not put all this expense on the electric department to do that. I think most of the budgets have another maintenance and repair.
Okay.
That it would be broken down
Spread it
by
around.
department.
Spread it
Okay.
So it's not fair for them to take on
Right.
everybody else's
Sure.
stuff. but
Thank
yeah.
you.
All right, so that's a motion and a second. All in favor? Any opposed? Thank you very much. Consider a request from the University of Mississippi to establish rideshare pickup locations for baseball games.
We should have a map.
Mr. Levy?
We should have a map. It's about to appear, and there it is.
It's magic.
There it is. We have a request from Ole Miss Athletics, Jamal Rhodes with Ole Miss Athletics, to establish a pickup location for rideshare companies. This would be for areas within the green area on the map. The reason we're bringing it for the board is we have a similar system in place right now around the square with the designated pickup areas that every night at 7 p.m. The drivers and riders are required to use the locations. This is a very similar system. We're talking with some of the same people from Uber and Lyft. The dates, so the university is requesting that an hour before each game and 2 hours after each baseball game, we have this geo fence active. Again, the reason for why we're coming to the board is that yellow, the area in the yellow is the right of way that the city owns for Old Taylor Road and University Avenue, and you can see that falls within this area. The actual proposed pickup location is on the south parking lot, and Hilton's been working with.
Where's the actual pickup location?
It's on the south. It's hard to see, but it's on the south.
Like that construction
here.
lot across from the MDOT lot?
No, it's down
by
close to
Highway
Wooded.
6.
It's
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right off the interchange.
That's what you're saying.
Close to 6.
Yeah.
The old MDOT lot on the
On the
big lot on
other
the
side of the
left-hand
road.
side, on the other
They
side.
call it the south lot.
It's the
Yeah.
south lot, that's one
But
that's
it's
been.
the old MDOT lot.
Yeah, it's a construction laydown lot.
We're all talking about the same thing,
Last year.
people. We're just calling it different things. Yes.
So OPD has been working with athletics, and we actually moved the location to better fit what we're trying to do. If approved, the university is going to work with a rideshare company to try to get this done by this weekend, potentially.
Okay.
So just need your,
One thing that does concern me, and I'll just tell you, I had this happen at a game the other day in the parking lot behind the outfield, is the students and everybody are leaving before the game's over. You said it's gonna be like after the game's over and for 2 hours. It needs to be.
it'll start an hour and go till
all right,
2 hours.
Because, I mean, you couldn't, I mean, the Uber people kept coming in and the students were walking everywhere. It was just a nightmare.
And I included a schedule in here, and it actually goes game by game. But like for this weekend, the game starts at one. Let's see.
It's fine, as long as it's
Yeah.
during the game, that's fine.
If the game starts at 6:30, it's going from 5:30 to 11:30 at night.
Okay.
So an hour before the game we don't know how long the game's gonna last.
And the pickup seems to be the biggest thing, not
I
the
mean, it
drop
should
off,
be.
but I know you've got to do the whole thing.
I confirmed that today. We can't control the drop off location, because when you're in an Uber, they can drop you off.
Yeah, people can just say, stop and get out.
Exactly. So it's really just for pickup, and it's just,
That's better, I don't care, they can get off wherever they wanna get off.
but most of y'all know it's pretty congested in that area
Yeah.
during the game. So
Move we approve.
Rick?
Whoa.
Slow down.
Slow down. So, if I'm correct, Gertrude Ford Parkway is part of our right-of-way also. Just making sure we're not saying this is the only right-of-way we've got going on through there.
Gertrude Ford's a tricky one.
we have an easement. We have an easement.
Cause it
We
was
have
the
an
old
easement to
railroad.
pay for the care of it. Lucky us.
But it was the old railroad, which they
But you had Old Taylor Road that always came through, some through there, and now it's gone. It stops at University Avenue, which is. Anyway, I'm just making sure we're not.
Well, and this is,
What I'm
yeah.
saying is, I don't appreciate this map as distinguishing whether we do or don't have right of way.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just showing the right of way on Old Taylor. If y'all want to be explicit on the record, yes, we have a right of way on Gertrude Ford as well. It's a right of way.
We're not
Or
forfeiting
maybe
anything.
any city-owned property within the green area. It's a better way
Right,
to
I
say
don't
it.
think y'all are adopting this map as a legal description of what the city needs.
No.
Well, that's what I was thinking, but if you say that, I mean,
that's
Okay,
what it
so
says.
do we,
This is the city of Oxford right away. That's what its description is. At the very top of this,
Well, this is just,
established
this is
right
just
to be
a.
offense on the city
this
of
is
Oxford right away. Okay.
You're not adopting, you wouldn't be adopting the map. You'd just be,
we're adopting the pickup spot.
the pickup, well, the use of, the use of, if any property within, that falls within the green, with it, yeah. Any city right of way within the green,
only during baseball games?
only during baseball games, in the spring.
Okay.
All right, there's a motion and a second one.
Is there a second? Okay, all in favor? Any opposed? Thank you. All right, can request permission to approve change orders number 3 through 5 from AS Forney Construction for the Oxford Square Park project.
So as the mayor mentioned, the public's now able to freely move around and use the City Hall Park. We have several small items that we need to finish before we close out the park completely. So that's what we're here for tonight. Even though the park is open, we're hopefully going to do something more official once all the small stuff is finished. So we've got 3 change orders from Forney, AS Forney. Change order number 1 is for the concrete base for the statue. In the original contract, we had that item as an owner item, and Forney ended up giving us the price to do it $4,500. So we have that amount budgeted. So we're just requesting that you approve that change order so we can.
Move we approve.
Second.
All in favor? Any opposed?
Okay. The second item is for the addition of some custom doors for the enclosure that I'm sure you all walked through on the way up tonight or past couple of meetings, but that was not the. We had some contingency money left in the funding model, and this is one of the things that we were going to plan on using the contingency money for some metal doors that would close.
Where the chiller is.
The chiller area, and
It's
also
got
a gate
brick on
on
3
the
walls.
fire enclosure. We have to install a gate out here, and that total for that change order is $7,431.
Motion made.
30 cents.
Second.
All in favor?
For both
Any
items.
opposed?
So that can't go up to fire escape.
It's for both items.
All right,
All right, and the last change order is change order number 5, which is a request for a weather delay. It's for, I think it was 18 days. The extension, the request, it results in a $3,600 decrease in the total liquidated damages. If accepted, the damage would be reduced from, right now they're at $10,400, and they would be reduced to $6,800. The contract allows for weather delay for abnormal, quote, abnormal weather conditions. We didn't receive any really abnormal weather conditions, but the contractor still requested this be brought for y'all's consideration.
How many weather days do you think?
Well, we've extended this once for 20 days from December 1st to December 20th. So
That was for weather.
that was when we started counting the days, it's on September 20th.
December 20.
Yeah, December 20th, that's when we started counting back.
How many weather days between that time and now, do you think?
He requested 18 during that time period.
But from the 20th, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, he's requested 10 days since then, but he's also got 8 that he requested before the 20th.
Correct. It's in that.
So what do you mean we started counting them on the 20th? Because he's got dates here that are December 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 9th, 10th, 14th.
So some of these were already,
What did they lose over Christmas when the chiller froze and the water ran for a while? That caused any delays?
I mean, they probably didn't work because it was so
No.
cold, but
I mean,
the chiller didn't affect.
the chiller didn't affect anything.
He's requesting 10?
The dates on this are not great. He's requesting 18 after, because we've already accepted. We've already
given
accepted.
10 before this,
That's
so it
right.
would be a
That's
total of a month that we've given him, or 28
That's correct.
days that we will have given him credit for.
We've already given him 20, actually, from the 1st to the 21st.
We gave him 20. These dates that he submitted were done after that, and so that he's got the date. He's got the dates wrong.
So how many actual dates, I guess the question would be, how many actual dates? Because
It would be 38 days total if you accept this 18.
We've already given him 20, he's asking for 18 more.
That's right.
Is your question how many days did it rain?
No, well, two things. One, were these two, like I'm seeing 2/4/22, 2/5/22, 2/6/22, 12/4/2022, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10.
Prior to those dates, we had given him 20. He's put the wrong dates on here.
He's
is
put
what Mark is
these
saying.
dates are not right.
We're kind of getting in the weeds about it. The way I look at it is between you and Bart and Mayor, I mean, if he really needed the days, I say we give them to him. It looks good over there. If he didn't, then we don't give it to him. I don't know whether or not they're all legit.
And it was a calendar day contract, so.
Yeah,
It didn't matter. I mean, the truth is, that's how the calendar contract works, is you have this many days, and there were weeks that nobody worked.
And so when they bid it, they should know about how many days of rain it should be.
His claim is that it was abnormally wet, we had abnormal weather during that period of contract, there's no way we could have foreseen, and that's what your determination is.
Well, I say that if that's the case, we split the difference with it. On what he wants.
1,800.
What's the board's pleasure?
Was that a motion, John?
I mean, I don't know. What do y'all think? You think that's fair?
I'm good with halfway. I'm good with 9.
Okay, so moved.
Second.
All right, all in favor? Any opposed? All right.
All right, thanks.
Thank you, Mark. Consider a resolution setting April 4th, 2023 as the date for the public hearing on the voting ward map of the city of Oxford.
It's just what you said, there's, the two options will be on file in Ashley's office or in our office.
Second.
All right, all in favor? Any opposed? All right. Consider a request to expand the certificate of convenience and necessity for Oxford's water system. Bart?
On board pack, you've got our memo, and you have a letter from the developer's engineer requesting that we consider expanding our certificate with the Public Service Commission for water service down 328. You'll notice on the right-hand side of your map, or east of the area that he is wanting to expand into, the blue line is where our current certificate is. Obviously, we would have to attach those, but the area that he is wanting us to serve is the blue hatched area shown on your map. Looking at the conditions on the memo, if you follow those conditions and he's responsible for all the fees, we proved through engineering study that we've got the capacity and it's not detrimental to the rest of our customers. I see no reason not to let them pursue expanding our area. Just it gives us more customers. They would larger service area. They would be responsible for all the expenses, including the infrastructure, allowing us to be able to serve it, and just see no reason not to move forward. And expenses of seeking. And expensive seeking, that's all, there's 4 conditions, and that's actually the first condition.
Motion made.
Second.
All in favor?
With the conditions as stated.
With the conditions as stated. Any opposed?
That's what he
All right.
meant.
I will ask the board now to consider an executive session.
I would like to consider an executive session.
All right, do I have a motion to consider an executive session?
Jason,
All right, all in favor? Any opposed?